In this video, we will go over how to use the Contour a Variable tool in our spatial products. The Contour a Variable tool can be used to create contours for a set of points based on some variable in their data. These contours are levels of the variable chosen. These levels can then be themed on and then will act as a kind of heat map showing areas of higher and lower values in the points. Such values could be mineral grades, elevation data, etc. In this example, I have a point cloud XYZ file, which represents a surface. I would like to create contours that will show areas of higher and lower elevations. Before bringing up the tool, make sure to have the layer highlighted in the layer control that you'll be doing the contouring on. The tool can be found in the Tools tab over here, or be searched for in the search bar. Clicking on the tool brings up the following dialog. The first thing you will choose is the column in the data that has the variable that you want to create contours for. In this case, it will be the Z column in my data, which has all the elevation data. As you select the column, the range of the data in that column is automatically calculated for you and populated in contour from and contour to. This can be changed if you want, but I will just leave it like this. Then you will choose the interval between the contours that will be created. This is in meters, and in this case I want 1 meter intervals between the contours. So I'll put this in. Then you can choose to have filled polygon contours created for you. In this case I just want normal contours, so I'll leave this ticked off. Later we will look at what filled polygon contours look like. Lastly, you can choose to do the contouring on only selected geometries. You would first select those geometries using one of the selection tools, and then after having selected them in the scene, you would just tick on selected geometries and then say OK to do the contouring on them. In this case, I want to do the contouring on all the points in this layer, so I'll leave this ticked off. I'm now ready to do the contouring and I'll say OK. The contouring is now done, and I'm prompted to set the layer properties for the new layer that has been created for me with the contours. In this case, I'm just going to take the defaults here and say OK. And there we go. There are our contours that have been created. I will just tick off the points layer here to see this better, and then I'll zoom fit to this contours layer, and there it is. Now to make more sense of this data here, we're going to apply a theme to it, and to do that we will right click on the contours layer and go to properties, thematics, and say new theme, and this theme we will call elevation. And then we'll come to the colors tab here to create a color theme, and by color column we're going to choose the level column in the contours layer to do the theming on. And then we'll go to the color based on number ranges here, and then we'll click best fill to fill with the best range of values possible. And there we go. You can change these colors if you want, or bring them in from a color palette, which is what I'll do in this case. I'll click and drag the palette on, and then I'm just going to say flip colors so that the lower values are shown in green and the higher values in red, and then I'll say OK. And our theme has been applied, and we can now nicely see areas of higher and lower elevation here with these contours. A theme legend has been created for us as well, which allows us to tick on and off the different levels here that we want to look at. To easily isolate a level, you can right click on it and say isolate, and it will isolate it for you. If you want to zoom fit to it, you can also right click and say zoom fit. To tick all these levels back on, you can just right click and say all on, and they're all put back on for you. We will now go over how to make these contours as filled polygon contours. So we will first just tick off this contours layer here, and then tick back on this points layer, zoom fit to it. There we go. And as we did before, we'll just make sure the layer we want to do the contouring on is highlighted in the layer control here before we bring up the tool. And we can see here that it has remembered my previous settings that I chose for the contouring. And I'm going to leave all these the same. The only difference now is I'm just going to tick on filled polygon contours before doing the contouring. And this will create filled polygon contours for me. I'll now say OK. And the contouring is now done, and I'm prompted to set the layer properties for the new layer that has been created for me. I will once again just take the defaults and say OK. I'll then just tick off this points layer here, and there we go. The filled polygon contours have been created for me here. Now once again we're going to create a theme so we can nicely see this. So we'll right click on this new layer here Go to properties, thematics, new theme, and I will call this theme elevation again. And then we'll come to the colors tab here. And then by color column, this time we're going to choose level from as the column we're going to theme on. You can also choose level 2 if you wanted, but we'll just do level from here. And then we'll come to the color based on number ranges here. And again, we'll say best fill to get the best range. And then you can change these colors if you want. And I will just bring in some colors from the color palette here again. And then I'll flip them again so that the lower values are green and higher values are red. And then I'll say OK. And there we go. The theming has been applied to our filled polygon contours, and we can nicely see the areas of the high elevation here and the areas of the low elevation. And as before, there is a theme legend here which you can use to tick on and off the different levels. If you want to isolate a specific level, you can say isolate. To put them all back on, right click and say all on. And there we go. That's all for this demonstration. Thank you very much.